Hello and welcome to our very first video guide for Digital Master, where we cover all the ins and outs of some of the greatest Digimon out there. Belphemon recently joined our ranks. This Digimon is the scariest one so far in 1 vs 1 and will destroy every Alphamon out there. And I'm not speaking of just a small victory, but some serious one-shot kills with his ultimate. To explain how this is possible, we're going to cover his skill set and genetics. Genetics being the feature making our existing Digimon completely overpowered. But, is this the case with Belphemon? Stay tuned and you're sure to find out. And not to forget, Matrix. Yes, Matrix truly is something not to be overlooked. After that, we'll be covering his strengths and weaknesses. Will he need his awakened weapon, the Soul Chain, to truly succeed or not? To follow up, we're going to talk about how Belphemon fits into different game modes. And lastly, there will be a short, too much didn't read section for you lazy guys out there. Don't worry, you haven't been forgotten. The first part of the passive is really strong in a Flame Genesis team. However, you will want to team up Belphemon with Slayerdramon to receive the maximum bonus from it. Regardless, Slayerdramon is required in order to make a Flame Genesis team in the first place. The Fury counters and the bubble mean that Belphemon can be in the front row, however, he will surely die before his bubble activates, meaning you will miss the opportunity to see Belphemon at full power. Therefore, it makes a lot more sense to run Belphemon in the back row. The Fury counters will stack up and he'll be able to get his bubble almost every round, meaning he'll be immune to debuffs. This bubble also makes it very difficult for defensive Digimon to kill Belphemon, as they tend not to hit hard enough to break it. The fact that defensive Digimon have trouble against the bubble means that Belphemon, being an attack Digimon, can even excel against defensive Digimon in a 1v1 situation. In the event that a Digimon has a chance less than 100% to revive, such as Cherubimon, Angemon or Devimon, it is highly unlikely they will ever get the chance. It is clear to see that Belphemon's basic skill already makes him a beast in 1v1 situations, as he can ignore 20% of the damage immune rate for his target. That's a big deal considering all Digimon gain damage immune rate once they reach 6 stars. The fact this skill deals more damage the higher the enemy's defense stat is, means Belphemon is great against any type of Digimon, even more so against defense type Digimon. To finish up, the buff feature determined by his current HP is fantastic in 1v1 situations. It enables him to either deal higher damage, which is what we really want to see, or survive significantly longer thanks to the improved lifesteal. However, I must say, the bonus in 6v6 is quite insignificant. You'll not notice much difference. Last, but certainly not least, Belphemon's ultimate skill means that if you've built him correctly, you can one-shot even the largest of tanks such as Alphamon. Defensive tanks get shredded, and skilled Digimon will be destroyed even quicker. The fact that he can ignore 10% damage immune rate and block rate means that this skill is exceptionally strong versus these types of Digimon. In regards to the Fury counters, need I say more? He consumes all existing Fury counters he's holding to increase critical hit ratio and attack, which can be buffed even further the more enemies have used their ultimates before him. His ultimate skill is certainly more relevant in 6v6 battles where there will be a downpour of ultimates from the enemy team, meaning huge damage bonuses for Belphemon. However, in 1v1, damage increase really is not that noticeable. His ultimate really comes to life after genetic enhancements, which we will get to shortly. Thanks to his skill set, we can clearly see that Belphemon is designed to absolutely dominate in 1 vs 1 matches. Next, we move on to speak about genetics. Genetics are a very recent feature in the game, and many people are still uncertain about it. One thing I can say for certain, it's always worth it. Let's see just how much so for Belphemon. The bonuses received upon second gate genetic enhancement are quite incredible, taking his 1 vs 1 prowess to new heights. A 60% HP bubble, almost double what it was before, and complete immunity to control effects make it close to impossible to stop him destroying every opponent in his way. Not huge changes to his basic skill, however still enough to sway the battle in his favour. More damage and more survivability when under 50% of his maximum HP. Nothing super impressive, but you should still get it. Every bonus damage point is necessary for Belphemon. Here's the big one, guys. Upon achieving 6th gate of Belphemon's genetics, you'll unlock his improved ultimate skill, which will knock your opponents out with ease. Instead of ignoring 10% damage immune rate and block rate, it's now 30%, and an additional 5% critical hit ratio and attack. And 2 random allies get this buff too. Incredible. But wait, there's more. There's now 2 new effects on his ultimate. When it strikes a killing blow, he reduces the critical hit ratio and defense of enemies in that row by 15%, or when it does not strike a killing blow, the fury recovery rate of the target will be reduced by 40% and Belphemon gains 2 fury counters. The entire field can now fear Belphemon. Finally, he's found his place in the arena. Now, onto the Matrix, an extremely important part of the game, bringing dangerous advantages to any Digimon that are set up correctly. For Belphemon, we're going to see 2 sets of Matrix, one for the back row and the other for the front row. First, looking at the back row setup, you'll need the Ohm, Lorentz and Cavendish matrices. But why those? The reason is, these are the best to increase damage, making Belphemon an even scarier opponent to come up against. I strongly recommend to put attack HP Digizoids where possible, using attack defense when not possible, as attack HP are the absolute best for synergizing with his bubble. Don't forget to use the bonus Digicore, not reduction. In regards to running Belphemon in the front row, I'd personally recommend against it. If you really want to run him in the front row, then make sure to use defense HP Digizoids and reduction Digicores, but honestly, it's not a smart move to utilize Belphemon in the front row. You're really reducing his effectiveness and purpose. Belphemon's strengths. The damage of this Digimon are out of this world. Currently, Belphemon has the largest single target damage in the game, making him the ultimate in 1 vs 1. Disclaimer, I in no way guarantee 100% victories with Belphemon 1v1. Belphemon's weaknesses. Despite his colossal damage, Belphemon has all but arrived a little too late. The fact that he needs his awakened weapon to really shine means you'll have to invest a fair amount into him, and he never really finds his true place in the team. As mentioned earlier, he can buff the team after Genetic Enhancement Gate 6, so give him a chance and see how you feel. In regards to game modes, Belphemon will never really leave the 1 vs 1 scene. He will excel in both Challenger Tournament and Cross-Server Tournament, allowing you to get rid of those big threats, truly the scariest 1v1 Digimon to face. In 4v4, Belphemon cannot really find his place. His bubble will not help you since the HP in Guild and Mine Wars is very low, and he will be destroyed by opponent Digimon that excel in these game modes. To finish up, in 6v6, he can be more useful than a lot of Digimon, but is essentially just the Pot 16 version of Agnimon. He is still a viable choice for Flame Genesis teams, consisting of Belphemon, Slayerdramon, Omnimon and Examon, but honestly, Gallantmon would be much better fit here than Belphemon. With genetics, of course, he becomes significantly more viable for a 6v6 team, but by the time his 6th gate is released, it will really likely be too late. To summarise, Belphemon's skill set proves that this Digimon is an absolute monster, but truly shines in 1v1. In 6v6, he's not very relevant without his genetics. As I said before, he's the equivalent of a Pot 16 Agnimon. Yet, as a Pot 16, he remains more useful than many other Digimon already in the game, and will almost never lose a fair fight in 1 vs 1. Gallantmon can do an equally good job, if not better, due to the recent release of Gallantmon's 4th gate genetic enhancement, allowing him to destroy the likes of Alphamon in a single basic skill attack. Cutting to the chase, if you enjoy 1v1 modes, then Belphemon is the Digimon for you. If you prefer team modes, then Belphemon is really not the niche Digimon for you. Thank you for listening to the very first of many Digital Master video guides. I hope you found it useful. If you have any comments or suggestions, please remember to leave it in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it to your friends so they can learn too. Don't be selfish. I've been GM Cyronox, and you've been a fantastic audience. See you in the digital world.